Hi, everyone, and thank you for watching this brief feedback video for your mini project. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Hopefully, you were able to watch a couple of the videos that I provided. One was in the optional class recordings. I did have an optional class. We went over this in that recording, and so hopefully you're able to see that. And then in addition, in the mini project assignment itself, there was a brief video that explained all of this. It's a couple years old, but hopefully it helped you out. Now let's go ahead and find out what the answers are. So to quickly summarize, you were to identify certain positions, if you could pay them a salary or did you have to pay them overtime. And then once you determined that, then you were able to write a letter saying, what the overtime law is, and then what positions have to be salary or what have to be hourly or whatever it asks. Let me see. Why did you come to that conclusion for the ones that are exempt from overtime? Now, if you included both, that's fine, but you only technically had to do the ones for exempt from overtime. So what does exempt from overtime mean? It means an hourly, no, it means a salary. So those who are exempt from overtime, meaning they don't get overtime, they are a salary, whereas the non-exempt are hourlies. I always kind of like to say salary versus hourly. Hourly. I can talk today. All right, so there are a few different positions. So the ones that are salaried or exempt are business development manager, the manufacturing manager, and the engineer. All of those qualify for some sort of exemption. So the business development manager falls under the outside sales exemption, the manufacturing falls under the executive, and then the engineer falls under the professional, or even the computer science. It really kind of depends on the type of engineer. Product engineer, it could fall under a software engineer as well. It can fall under either of those. So they are able to be paid a salary based on those exemptions. Again, when you look at the fact sheet, it will clearly identify the exemptions. So for instance, the manufacturing manager had employees, right? And so the employee must be in direct work of at least 2 or more full-time employees, must have the ability to hire and fire. And so that's why they qualify for that exemption. The business development manager falls under the outside sales rep. Talked about this in the class. Titles mean absolutely nothing. You have to look at that job description, and the job description lined up with the outside sales rep. So the administrative assistant, the salesperson, and the assembly tech, all of those are hourly, meaning non-exempt. And so therefore you have to pay them overtime. That's because their positions didn't actually qualify on the exemption. And so for instance, the administrative assistant, while it's an important position, based on the fact sheet, you want to look at the fact sheet, they didn't actually qualify for any of the exemptions based on what they do. So for instance, the employee has to exercise discretion, independent judgment with respect to matters of significance. So answering phones, greeting customers or greeting, whoever it is that they're greeting, I can't remember, greeting customers, and then also ordering supplies. While it's important, I'm not going to diminish that. It is absolutely important. It doesn't actually qualify under the administrative exemption based on this fact sheet. And same thing with the sales rep, that doesn't qualify. And then the assembly tech is a blue collar position as well. All right, so if you were able to get those answers right on the first part, it would make the second part a lot easier for you. So hopefully you were able to do that. If you got anything wrong in that first part, you might get some points taken off in the second part as well, just because the second part requires you to write a letter. Old school style, yeah, a letter. I should probably change that to email, right? Write an email. How old am I? Like I actually just created this a few years ago. I should know better, right? All right. So write an email to the president, basically explain what the overtime law is, number one, and number two, what positions are exempt and why you came to that conclusion. All right, the grading rubric has all the details. If you have any questions, I want you to reach out, but otherwise, have a great day. Thanks so much.